Good morning and welcome to The Point. It is Friday, June 11th, 2021. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20. Good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9 and all the folks joining us on Party Grenada and Go to FET Facebook pages. It is always a pleasure to have you. Thank you for your time, your listenership, your viewership. It is Open Line Friday here on the program where we give you, our viewers and listeners, an opportunity to call in or message us with anything that you'd like to share. If you'd like to share your thoughts or something happening in your community that you think we need to be made aware of, this is the chance to do so. The landline number is 435-2041. The WhatsApp number is also 435-2041. Please only written messages on WhatsApp, and you can post your comments, questions, queries, concerns on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. Open Line Friday here on the program. Let's go to our first caller. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller. All right, nobody there. Let's try again.
Morning.
Good morning, caller. Good morning.
The early bird catches the best worm.
Amen.
Amen. Anyhow, I'm very much concerned about so much irregularities in the world, but specifically in Grenada. As far as I'm concerned, when I listen to statements or reports, to me, some of those reports are not accurate. For example, we have reports that have been made by the people in different communities. For example, recently we have deaths that have been caused, as they say, in police custody and in homes and so on. Now, when I look at a lady reporting about a police, 3 policemen came into her house at a specific time in the night. I find this could never happen because I think the police, I want to say, are very much intelligent to know that maybe they're not supposed to go at somebody's home at night. So I'm asking myself, is that true? At the same time, I'm asking myself, is it false? Because I don't think somebody, except the person is somewhat insane to make a statement on policemen like that. So I don't know who to believe. I do not know if it's to believe the police. I do not know if it's to believe the lady that made the statement. Imagine the lady said that her operation has been ruptured. This is a serious thing. I don't think, according to the laws, I know you'll help me after I finish the conversation, that the police has the right to go into somebody's home at night. That is one. Another one, we heard about somebody being found in a cell, and even at his home, 2 people died by hanging with maybe he's on the way. This seems to be high-fetched. I cannot even imagine that somebody could hang themselves maybe in a cell with underpants. So then, I'm being baffled. I don't know if people have been baffled too. So there are lots of inaccuracies. And this is what I'm thinking. And the next thing I have to talk about, imagine we take too much vaccination again, so much vaccination. We may fall up in the same trap because we're not making enough effort to distribute the vaccination at a quick time. So we land up in the square peg again, in a wrong hole. So we may have to give or donate the vaccination in the next few months to some other country before it expires. And this is what we have to contend before we do something. In fact, you old people, as your grandmother would say, count 10. I would say count 20 now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. Not distributed vaccination, distributed vaccines. It's vaccines. And in terms of the police going in homes at night, I don't think there is a an 8 to 4 requirement for when police can enter your homes. Once they have a justifiable cause to do so, it doesn't matter the time of day. Once there's a crime being committed, a criminal they're going to arrest, or a situation they have to respond to, there's no specific time that they can or cannot enter your home once they have justifiable cause. So it's not to say once sunset they can't come home. All right, let me see what's on the social media. WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, yesterday the security guard at Country Cold Store asked a police officer to put on his mask. That police had the audacity to arrest the security guard. The security was protecting himself and his place of work. So, Mr. Commissioner, get that right or else we will all break the law. I saw that video circulating on social media alleging that of that same scenario, that the security guard told the police officer that he needed to put on his mask before entering the supermarket or the place of business, and the officer since arrested the security guard. I am not sure what transpired between put on your mask and putting him in handcuffs, what transpired in between, but I saw that video, and I'm curious to know exactly what happened. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my concern is that Mr. Vanny Cohen, he said that they will be putting things in place to protect us from the coronavirus. But if you check every bus that run in Grenada, nobody have on their mask. Sometimes the driver have on own, the conductor ain't have on own. And secondly, the thing about the immigration, a lot of illegal immigrants is in Grenada. They come from St. Vincent, they come and wait. And apparently, the people could bring the corona forward because we corona free. I mean, I'm so sorry to have to talk like that, but this is my concern. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. In relation to the buses, yes, we are not consistent with enforcing the regulations and ensuring that people do what they need to do. I remember when there was this big mission, everybody must wear their mask to be in the bus and so on and so forth, or else you'll be charged. Haven't heard of charges. A few weeks ago, the police were out in numbers charging every man jack in town for not wearing masks. I haven't heard of it in recent days. So we're not consistent. So we know, as they say in Grenada, you talk for, is it 8 days? And then after that, everything gone? Is the same? We talk for 8 days, or we enforce the law for 8 days, and then on day 9, all man jack, do what I want. Until maybe we're ready again. Until maybe we don't have much work to do in the office, so we coming on the streets. I don't know. But that bus thing is a concern for me. I am grateful that I'm not a bus taker. Sorry, but I'm grateful. In relation to the illegal immigrants, unfortunately, you can always find loopholes to skip and skim entry protocols. Just like the person that was charged for illegal entry coming up from Trinidad, was it a week ago? I'm sure there are others who have done the same, because we can't have Coast Guard or officers right around the perimeter of the trial, unfortunately. And people always find ways of skimming. That's why we always have to be on our guard, because you never know. The same James in the supermarket probably just came in from St. Vincent or Trinidad, or even up far up as, Barbados, Dominica, even Antigua up there, so by illegal means. But we want to say we corona-free or COVID-19 free, so why curfew and why protocols? You just never know. These things are in place for a reason, people. Just do what you got to do to protect yourself. I wear my mask. It's been a while since the Ministry of Health has spoken of a new COVID-19 case. They release the dashboard every day. And I think it's been the last one recovered end of April, if my memory serves me correctly. But I still ain't taking chances, because me no know. Sorry. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Blossom, and morning to your listeners and your viewers.
Morning.
Again, great program.
Thank
and
you.
I was very happy because my friend, Ryan Cloud, who I missed for a long time, I didn't even have an idea where he is. I sent a note for you. I wish you could pass it on to him, or at least help me to get his number or so that I can contact him. But one thing he said, that before I come make my contribution, I could testify to that where he decided to go by Lieutenant Paul, because he had worked with Lieutenant Paul before. And I remember that he's a person who prepared, as he said, he had his down payment for his next whatever already. And he's the kind of person, because remember, was in talks with Double D at the time to do his thing, because he was thinking ahead of the season. And then one day I get a call from me. He said, Professor K, I think I changed my mind about Double D. You know. I got in touch with Lieutenant Paul, and he have agreed to work along with me. And where he said he went and borrowed the money from the credit union, and that is true. I know that as a fact. Anyway, my contribution is I'm glad that the person called about the possibility, because that's to me one of my biggest concern. I have limited my movement because of that. Going on the bus is like committing suicide. Because people take this thing for granted. In the sense that just one person and you're dead. And people take it, they look in, they're judging, oh, you look like that, she look like that. No, anybody is a little thing that you basically, a little virus, he can kill you. So rather than ensure that the buses and all the other people comply with those regulations, rather than doing that, we are seeking to satanize the people who raise the issue about the efficacy of vaccine and whether we really need to take it and whether they're not alternatives. And to me, one of the alternatives is certainly doing those basic things, sanitation, blah, blah, blah. Now, yesterday I wanted to call your program when Senator Sinclair was on. And I agree with some of the callers, yes, he's doing fabulous. He's a good, right approach and things. But I wanted to ask him a few questions. You know, and I know you can't answer it. Blossom, have you considered that tourism, that agriculture has never been presented as everyone's business, unlike tourism? Have you ever thought about that? Why is that the case? You could imagine from the little children who grew up believing that tourism, that agriculture is everyone's business. You could imagine what we have. Everybody would want to eat good food. Everybody would look for local stuff. But no, we go eat the Frankenstein food that is imported. We go eat so that we rely on other people when hurricane comes. What about, I was asking the question, I was asking a colleague yesterday. I wanted to ask him that too about what guarantees or what sort of system are we putting in place to ensure that there's food security in the event of disaster and all that kind of stuff. What about our seed bank? Are we choosing to secure the seeds and the plants, the variety from past, that we are not overwhelmed or succumbed by modern, what they call hybrid stuff, as have been in the case of our corn? All these things we need to be doing. I'm not saying that he needs to be doing, but in terms of at the highest level, these things need to be policies. And I know you're willing to get me off now. So I will say finally, I'm not convinced that we are anywhere near as ready to deal with the COVID. You know why? To deal with COVID or any disaster, even an impending hurricane, you need to have a certain level of collaboration. How you have collaboration, you have to learn how to collaborate and cooperate. Do we have any kind of effort like that? No. Everybody living on their own. That's why we dine on our own. Everybody dine on their own. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, caller. Let me go to YouTube, Facebook. Some comments on Facebook. Facebook not working with me, All right. Somebody on Facebook says we have to stop promoting mental slavery in Grenada. What is the COVID-19 status here? We do not have any known, the operative word here is known, COVID-19 cases. It's been, I want to believe, about a month since our last reported new case. However, that does not mean there isn't COVID-19 in Grenada. There's no known COVID-19 in Grenada. Another Facebooker says they need to charge the bus drivers. The driver have to stop people coming on the bus if they don't have a mask on. That was supposed to be the protocol. But I guess the almighty dollar speaks, and they don't want to pass up at $2.50 if somebody don't want to wear a mask, unfortunately. And that might just be our downfall. Let me go to WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, the young lady must not come on national TV and lie. This girl, stop. Start over. The young lady must not come on national TV and lie. Oh, this girl is a drama girl, so I don't believe her at all. When I watched the news and what she said, that was not adding up at all. Another WhatsApper says, imagine the police is the only entity responsible for investigating the police. What is the situation with the death of the gentleman at the St. David's police station? They need to put plainclothes police on these buses. The police is lacking strategy. A set of uneducated walking around in uniform. The death. I'm trying to remember the death of which gentleman at the St. David police station. Just remind me, WhatsApper, which death? Sorry to put it that way, but just which one? All right, landline. Yes, back to the landline. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Blackson.
Morning.
Black, how are you today?
I'm good. How you do?
Okay, good. No, some it is very hard to stop illegal aliens because you know how much Grenadians that go to America illegal from Canada and other places on boats and so on. So you're going to still find that. Yes, we're going to try to see how we could stop it a little bit. Right? Going back to the buses and the police. A long time ago, they used to have, there was a Guyanese police they call Crawford. Crawford used to have plain clothes, or sometimes he have regular clothes. He would take a bus to go to town, and if the bus overload, he would come out and charge the bus and walk. And you saw a lot of police going and do plain clothes, but now you haven't seen plain clothes police. So those people getting away with a lot of things now. I wish you could bring back plain clothes police. Thank you very much, Graham.
Thank you very much. That's something they need to do. Sorry for the bad English, but I only hear about plainclothes police in FET. Sometimes they just be walking around in town, but then I'm not seeing the impact of that, unfortunately. But I hear what you're saying. Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, you think that will be fair? That's a reply to the comment that they need to charge the bus drivers. The drivers have to stop taking people on the bus if they don't have a mask on. Somebody replied and said, you think that will be fair? Why not charge those who are not wearing their masks? We should all be responsible for our well-being. I agree, charge us as well, but charge the bus drivers as well. It's my business. It's my bus, my business. I should ensure that I handle the protocols, just like restaurants and so will be charged if they don't follow the protocols. It's the same business. It's the same business environment. So the bus driver need to ensure, because that way any and everybody can come onto the bus and they won't pay attention because it's not them to get a ticket. All man Jack gain charge. Good morning, caller.
Did not go through.
Okay, we lost that one. Let me go back on WhatsApp. Somebody else on WhatsApp says, I had an instance where I called South St. George Police Station looking for support about a teenager who started using marijuana. The police response to me was if they came to my place and found marijuana, they were going with everyone in the house. Policing in Grenada is not about prevention or community policing. It's just talk. Wow. Good morning, caller.
Morning, greetings, Sister Blossom.
Greetings, how you do?
A day, not too well, because what I come in to see now, I know the nation will have to wake up, and I want to make sure that our police officers and our prison officers get the message loud and clear. I want all the high ranking in the police force and in the prison to listen to what I'm saying this morning. Now, between Monday and Tuesday, a situation played out right in my vicinity, whereby a prison officer who was a friend of my daughter, they have some problem whereby she finished with him or whatsoever. They had one child together. You understand? Now he came after a couple hours, came across in the yard
a car pulling, which is my daughter was driving the car with somebody else who is a co-worker of hers and his son in the back of the car, and pulling in the yard. And when she was trying to turn in the neighbor yard, this red cop pull up in front and stop, open the door, come out with a gun and go forward to my daughter and the friend and the little child in the car, where my daughter gets so scared that she foot is up on the brakes and go and hit the car that he parked in the front of her. And all the thing, if her daughter or one other child was in front, they would have get crushed. And what I'm saying here is not a joke. And if that is the purpose of guns, then it doesn't make sense. Maybe everybody walk with, they make a big survey and pick up all guns, whether who police or what, because it doesn't make sense. The things that doesn't understand the purpose of it. I know guns. I was in the revolution and I turned gun inside or upside down. If I want a gun, I could make a gun. But I have no need for that because I passed through it and I know it can't even save us. Because today we're still in the struggle, going and trying to see if we can catch ourselves and get out from the hands of the ones that oppressed us for 400 years and up to this time. And when our sons and daughters have to be police and prison officers, I want to come and display the ill discipline when you respect them. Because the youth used to come in my area here and I respect them. And we used to meet eye to eye, hold hand to hand, bounce each other, because I had no problem with him accepting certain behavior that he had before, and I never look at it. And what he has done, he really disrespect me, and he disrespect our neighborhood because we don't get on this way in our neighborhood. And the guy that was in the car with my daughter, he was a person that I was a patient at the time. He was sick. It wasn't where he was getting a problem, and she was assisting him in this way. Although they are custom here, custom coming when they finish work and come together and drop her and go on and this thing. And what happened there? I would like somebody to take a good look of these kind of conditions that our policemen and our prison officers, if they're not trained to control their mind, then they shouldn't have in the possession of a weapon. So I want this thing to be taken serious, my sister, very serious. Give thanks.
Give thanks. Unfortunate circumstances. I hope it is rectified or it is bettered, and somebody is listening. Let me go back on, let me see, YouTube. Okay, Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, this bus thing get into me sometimes. No, this bus thing get into me. Sometimes I am the only one on the bus wearing mask. What about sanitizing before I enter the bus? People, every place is having second and third wave of COVID. Let's be serious about the protocols. Another Facebooker says, why charge the drivers? This is not fair. Take responsibility, you people. Another Facebook, I'm reading the comments related to that same topic. Somebody says, as long as you are an adult, you should be charged. Drivers pay the charge for children. Another Facebooker says, charge them bus drivers. They are in charge. What they say go. Life is important. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Blossom, and to all your followers.
Morning.
Something from yesterday. I did calling and when the senator was there, and I tried to refute what was said by the during the press conference, I think early in the week, by the senator who responded to the situation where there is not a chief agricultural officer. And to me, that response was so disingenuous and deceitful. And this administration has presided over the demise of agriculture. They have looked at all our technical people leave with no plan for them. They have not made an effort to get training in the areas of agriculture. They continue to reduce the number of employees using that 3 for 10 method. We have lost in the last 5 years all our experienced vets. And in addition to not having a chief technical officer, I understand that the chief, I sent a message yesterday, but you didn't receive it in time. The chief extension officer, the extension division is so important in supporting farmers. the head of the department is due to go on retirement in another month or two. So you don't have a chief technical officer. You don't have a head of extension, because as far as I know, there is nobody with anywhere near his experience to replace him. And so we have a shambles. And here they go about making all kind of promises of what they'll do in agriculture. Who are going to deliver on those promises? Ministers, the policymakers, they cannot do those things. They're not technical people. Neither are the permanent secretaries. So they have deliberately, and I would say negligently, and in some cases deliberately, they have presided over the demise of agriculture. And even the Prime Minister's speech a few days ago in Parliament, he mentioned 3 top initiatives moving forward. Agriculture was not among the 3. So it is very, very sad. And when people come after the fact and try to make this kind of lame lying excuses, we have to call them out. Now, one thing I also need to say quickly about the Prime Minister's press conference. The Prime Minister is speaking as though he's speaking on his own behalf. The Parliament is his private domain. Whatever he likes, he does. If he doesn't care about the teachers, and he doesn't care about the demonstrators and the protests, he don't bother with them. He just ignores them. And if he feels he wants to make it seem as though he cares about the children, as he quite clearly said, it had nothing to do with the protests or the demonstrators. It's only about the children. The children have parents soon. Some of them are public servants. He doesn't care. The remarks he made in the House, which to me demeaned the House, about that retired diplomat, he said he's not apologizing. He doesn't feel anything about it. It's not about him, Blossom. Okay. This is our country. It's not a man's private domain. And when you do things and say things in a house that has a certain standard, and you say things that affect our country internationally, it is beyond you.
Okay.
And I think we're at a point where this man now has no respect for anybody. This is his thing. He does it how he wants, and he doesn't care anymore. And this is very sad for us moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On that note, let's take a break. This is Open Line Friday here on To The Point. We'll be right back.
It's time to line virtually one more time. Gemma Rayburn Baines here for Spice Island Cultural Festival, a celebration of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. This summer's festival is a celebration of life with food, fashion, music, and culture. Join us online Saturday, July 10th, 3 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube at Spice Island Cultural Festival. Info, spiceislandculturalday.com.
Do you hear what I hear? Listen to the ocean, and you will hear a cry for help. The ocean is hurting, and we are the source of the hurt. But we can stop and start to heal our ocean by preventing pollution from getting into our waterways. It can start with you. Join an active organization, or better yet, make a personal commitment. Commit not for just one day in the year, but for the rest of your life. Let's dispose of our plastic and other waste responsibly, and let's start building resilience. Let the healing begin.
This message is brought to you by the OECS Commission with funding from the Government of Norway. Remlit, tackling ocean pollution from tooth to tooth.
Can you spend wisely and have more savings? Yes, you can. Learn more with Money Matters on GBN Television. The Money Matters series explores 12 top ways to save money. In this series, you would learn how to save by setting up your spending money right. Save on vehicle loans, home improvement projects, your credit cards, and even on prescription drugs. Tune in every Tuesday morning at 7:15 for Money Matters, a lighthearted conversation with financial planner Tali Francis. Follow the rebroadcast on Thursdays at 6:50 p.m. and on Sundays at 7:30 p.m. Money Matters is a financial literacy public awareness program sponsored by Republic Bank Grenada.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Hey folks, you're invited to tune in to Grenada Music to the World program hosted by Eugene Gittens on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9, Hot FM 98.5, 98.7, GBN TV and all their social media platforms. The only totally local music program in Grenada, representing all genres of music. So it's Green's Music to the World on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on GBN with the music icon himself, Mr. Eugene Gittens. See you then.
Welcome back to Open Line Friday here on To The Point, where we give you viewers and listeners an opportunity to call us or message us with anything that you'd like to share. Once again, the landline number 435-2041, the WhatsApp number also 435-2041. Please only written messages on WhatsApp, and you can continue to post your comments, questions, queries, concerns on Facebook and YouTube. Back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning, Ms. Jeremiah. How you do?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Not too bad. You're sounding a bit muffled.
Yeah, the line is not so.
Okay, you sound better now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before I say what I want to say, I want to echo the sentiments, the last contribution, the last sentiments Mr. Bernard expressed, the last comments he made. I want to support that 100%. I have found that for a while, that the gentleman who ruled this country, as though Grenadians are his little slaves. And so he does what he wants and he says what he wants. And he has no regard for what people think or how they feel. So I really want to say, and I think this is the reason why, as a nation, they say God raised up leaders and he put them down. But this one is as if God can't put him down. He said he want to do this, and, as though God, he controls God, so, God can't put him down. But Grenadians need to go on their knees. They need to go and seek the face of God. Because when you pray, God has been so good to this nation, especially in this COVID time. We have not had the ravages that other countries have had. And we need to thank God Almighty. And somehow, in my personal opinion, I believe the government is disappointed that we don't have the mass death that they expected, because the Minister of Health has been saying over the time, well, the second and the third wave is not if, but when. As though they knew what they were doing and they were planning something. And God has intervened and delivered this nation. And so Grenadians need to stop crediting this deliverance to government and put it to the Almighty God. He is the one that's saving us, and he's the one that's keeping us safe. Now they're opening the borders in July. They said open up to tourism, and so we are more now exposed. This is why we need to put more trust in the living God, not in what government doing, but in God, and repent and receive Christ, so more people will be able to pray and seek God's guidance and direction for this nation. God bless you, Blossom, and enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, Ms. J. You do the same. Just a comment on the first and second waves. The expectations of second and third waves come from past experience. You've been saying, and this is not the first time I've heard you made a statement, you've been saying that they know what they're planning, that there's going to be second and third wave. It's based on experience. This is not the first pandemic, worldwide health pandemic, that the world has gone through. So based on past experiences, you know that these viruses always make a comeback. Or when you think that it's going to be getting better, they always make a comeback. So it's based on experience. It's not that they're planning second and third waves. Facebook. Somebody on Facebook. Hold on, let me scroll. Right, somebody on Facebook says, How can a white man come and tell me what to do in my country? And he lucky I didn't meet him on the streets. A raging prime minister in parliament. There is a lady that works in the establishment for 16 years and was sent home. Stop. There was a lady working in the establishment for 16 years and was sent home until she take the vaccine by a white man who owned the place of business. Since when we come to that stage where you have to make a decision between putting food on your table to putting a vaccine in your body that is in clinical trial stage. That is what it's come to now in pure Grenada, when ministers of the administration saying that you cannot attend events or activities without the vaccine. I hope that when in the election season, the same people will say you cannot attend the rallies and cannot vote if you did not take the vaccine, but you won't hear that because they want your votes and won't care if you're vaccinated or not. So next election, our choice should be already made up to who we are putting in power. All right, WhatsApp. There's been a while I've read WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, in Grenada, we still have churches that are not following the COVID-19 protocols. Another WhatsApper says, some people really need to wear masks because they are silly as well as not good looking. Not trying to fancy it up. Another WhatsApper says, something is very fishy. There is no place in a holding cell for a prisoner to hang himself. A boxer's waist can contain that man's weight, except it's a pack of cricks and he's a mosquito. So why remove his body without showing us where he was hanged? We ain't taking that, so no, we ain't and we won't. Good morning, caller. Lies. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
In Grenada, who's responsible for informing the general public of international occurrences or international news?
The international news agencies.
So our local media doesn't really care about developments, what that's happening around the world.
Yes, we do. Each newscast, as far as I'm aware, carries regional and international segments.
Okay, so do you think the average Grenadian is informed about the lab leak theory?
Some people are.
And what percentage of Grenadians do you think know about that?
I wouldn't know that, sir.
What percentage of Grenadians do you think know that Anthony Fauci is going to be a liar?
I wouldn't know that either, sir.
What percentage of Grenadians do you think know that COVID is man-made?
I wouldn't know that either, sir.
But that is facts. But that's not being told.
Okay.
That is facts. Fauci was found to be funding gain-of-function research.
But that story has been in media houses regionally, locally, regionally, internationally for the past few weeks.
That story needs to be repeated just as much as you're telling people to be vaccinated. Because
it doesn't have to be repeated.
Yes, because what you're not realizing is there was a cover-up. 3 million people have died. Governments all around, including the US and America and China, are responsible for over 3 million deaths. But no good crisis goes to waste. So instead of they come out and apologize and own up to what they did, they use it as an opportunity to gain more control over people. In 2017, Fauci predicted that there would be a pandemic under Trump. Why are we not informing our people?
But okay, so
why are we not informing our people?
Sir,
our government is our authoritarianism, the definition of authoritarianism,
Thank you, sir. These stories have been covered by media houses locally, regionally, internationally. It is not, news is new information, so it's not prudent for us to be repeating the same information. If people want to find out these things, there's a simple search engine called Google, there's Yahoo search, there's Bing, that you can research these things. Just like Blossom does her own research once people are interested in them. But it's not prudent for a news agency to keep repeating the same story over and over. That's why there's the internet. For information that you would like to go and review, you review it. YouTube. Somebody on YouTube says, Blossom, do you know what the procedure is for Grenadians returning from Canada who have been fully vaccinated? I believe it is the same for everybody, that you need to be quarantined for at least once you get your negative PCR test. You can enter the country. You have to be in 48 hours / 2 days of quarantine, and once your test done locally returns negative, then you will be able to leave quarantine, but you still need to do at least 2 days of quarantine, being fully vaccinated. Somebody on YouTube is asking why there's so much adverts in the nightly news. Simple answer: bills have to be paid, and so does staff. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How you do?
Okay, thanks. I just want to make a comment as it relates to an incident reported by various media houses and was also officially reported by the Royal Grenada Police Force, with someone was arrested and placed in the custody of the police at the station and was found hanging. Okay? It is not the first time we are having situations where civilians have died as a result of police involvement. We have had shootings, we have had beatings. Up to now, the Oscar Batalam issue has not been resolved. And there was a guy, I've said so several times, who was shot and killed by the police while fleeing the police in Perseverance area on a motorcycle, and nothing happened. A situation recently in St. George's with a guy from Fontenoy, no. And this is not the first time in recent times that someone in police custody dying and the police stole the nation, the person was hanging or the person committed suicide. When this occurs, I think it is uncivilized, it is disrespectful, and it is backward and evil for the police to be investigating the police. Note, civil society isn't talking about that. The opposition parties that are here, they are not talking about it either. The churches are not talking about it either. This is a burning issue. We cannot wait until it becomes a family member, okay, then to speak out. Wrong, as Martin Luther King Jr. once said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. I am calling on the authorities this morning that whenever the police is involved in any killing or questionable act, the police should not be given the authority to investigate the police. When they do that, no intelligent person should respect it or can respect it. The time has come for us to implement legislation that a situation like this happens, there must be an independent body to investigate and give a report. And if whoever is guilty, let the law take its course. Thanks very much, lady.
Thank you very much, caller. I think somebody shared your sentiment this morning with the question, who is policing the police? That's a good point, and I agree with you about setting up the independent body. But the next question is, who will be a part of the independent body? That's going to be another problem. Facebook. Actually, no, it's been a while since I got on WhatsApp. Somebody, a lot of WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says the caller was referring to Oscar Bartholomew killed at the St. David police station. Wasn't that case not resolved? Didn't that case end? I remember the officers going to court, or it's still in the court. It's been so long, I can't remember, to be honest. Somebody on WhatsApp says, be wise, bus drivers sell masks $2 for one. Is that an idea, or that's what some of them are doing? Somebody's asking, hold on. Is wearing a mask law? Was it gazetted in placement? It is part of the... What's the name of the bill that was passed in Parliament again, Bonjour? It's part of the... But yes, it's in law. I'm trying to remember the name of the act that was passed in Parliament that makes way for it to be law. It had a tip of my tongue and I just really can't. It's not coming to mind. But yes, it's wear it. What is law or not? Wear it. Sorry. WhatsApp. Who is the NDC leader? I would like to know the leader of the National Democratic Congress. The acting political leader of the National Democratic Congress is Mr. Adrian Thomas, aka Persuader. He has been acting at least for a year. So not at least for a year. I mean, since about November-ish. We're in June, so he's been acting as the political leader for the last 6-7 months or so. An official leader will be elected at the party's general convention at the party's convention. Once the date has been set, of course, I'll share it with you. Okay, back on Facebook. Goodland Supermarket Foodland Supermarket Market Square security and staff playing the fool. They should close down that place for breach of code protocol. And the man who treats workers like a pig, it's time for him to go. He's a disgrace to have as a supervisor or manager. Another Facebooker says, hold on, landline? Right. Another Facebooker says, if the non-wearing mask is a ticketable offense, everyone should be dealt with accordingly. Toot moon bagay. Amen. Good morning, caller.
Great. Good morning, Citizen Welsh. Greetings.
Morning, Citizen Rollo.
Citizen Welsh, I've been sitting here and listening to the sound. If you listen well to all the comments made by the brothers and sisters within the shows of our country, they are all repetitions of comments of previous days and months and years, all. I wonder how many people are really asking themselves, why is it nothing is changing in this here country? And I assure you, too, that nothing will change until we understand the reasons for all the abuses on part of the so-called administration is simply because, and the other entities that follow, the organs of the state, so to speak, is because of the foundation of this country. The so-called constitution of this country permits all that you see. Listen, take a look at the immunity that is granted to these people when they're sworn in. You hire them as lawmakers, they're sworn in as executors, they do, because they have total immunity. And even after, you can't take them to task. And this is the problem. Why I urge Grenadians to take a look at refounding this nation. I urge you Grenadians to read the following. The theory of the Constituent Assembly. The theory of the Constituent Assembly. We have been in the most de facto manner. We have had, a constitution imposed upon us, a constitution that was never even made into law. And these people have studied it. The Bar Association of Grenada in collusion with the political class. With the political class of these aristocrats. Maintain us in a state of demeaning dependency, subservience and subjugation to the British Crown so that they can abuse the power. There is nothing there for the people. Brothers and sisters, it's time for us to rewrite our own constitution where we can say, we the men of, commencing it, we the men and women of Grenada, ... That is the problem in this country. Can't you see it? You're more blind than me, for Christ's sake. New constitution. Now, let us guarantee as I end that we insist upon all those politicians, career politicians, and otherwise those prospective politicians too, as they're coming in jobs, to let them know that if they're not prepared to revamp, to reconstruct this country from the base, from the constitution, Constitution, then don't come. It makes no sense. It is time that we understand it. Let us prepare ourselves to ask the people in a referendum whether or not they want to continue living under this imperial order and Congress of the Queen's most excellent majesty, or if we should write our own constitution through a constituent assembly. But understand what it means. They won't give me a chance to explain to you what a constituency assembly. No. They're inviting people from abroad to come in and talk a bunkum that's not relevant to Grenada. But they won't give an opportunity to a Grenadian who wants to explain to the people how we can emancipate ourselves once. But read, brothers and sisters. Thank you very much, Citizen Welsh, and have a nice day, will you?
Thank you very much, Citizen Rollo. You enjoy yours as well. All right, let's start to wind down. Let me go back by YouTube. Somebody on YouTube says, most people rely on local media for information, especially the average Grenadian. The fact that news pertaining to COVID-19 isn't being reported shows that only one side is being favored. I beg to differ with you, YouTuber. COVID-19 news are reported, especially here at the GBN. I believe we are inundated with information on COVID-19. You can't go anywhere without getting news on COVID-19. So I beg to differ with you. All right, let me read a comment from Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, I see many folks walking around with chin guards. Many continue to wear their mask in the wrong manner. How many more months before we get it right? Good question. It may be a while. Even me, a year and something, I still sometimes forget the mask in the van. Head into the supermarket and it occurred to me that I forget it and I have to head back. A year and some months, All right, WhatsApp. Somebody says, can you confirm if the little boy who was missing, whether or not he was found? I saw a comment on Facebook yesterday that the 6-year-old boy from Willis that was reported missing has been found. According to the report, he was found underneath a car in his neighborhood. And the police did issue an update saying that he has been found alive and well. Alive and well. He is alive. WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says the hard court in Caracou closed in the day, but the rum shop open. Please open the court between 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. All right, I don't think we have time for any more phone calls, so I'll just read comments for the next 1 minute. YouTube, I'm just making a pass. YouTube says in terms of policing the police, somebody on YouTube says they can have an independent body like Jamaica that is called Indicom to probe all police shootings and matters to deal with police and citizens. Another YouTuber says, we are charging people for wearing masks, and Fauci's email leak shows that he knows masks don't work. They only keep droplets from going out, but COVID is airborne as well. They've always said that the masks are not 100% safe, but they do help. Facebook, is the police supposed to follow protocol like everybody else, like when entering businesses? Given security officers' attitude, they should be, and they should be the ones, especially because they're the one enforcing the law. So I would have a problem if you're charging me for not wearing a mask and the police officer mask in his pocket. So they should be following the protocols. I always say report these things. If there's a police officer, or they should have their badge numbers on their chest or their shoulder or somewhere or the other. Report them. Call headquarters and say, look, Officer Blossom not wearing she mask, but she want to charge me. Report them. Take in front before in front take care, according to my Prime Minister. Take in front. Report them. That the officer that they said arrested the security guard for when the security guard told him to put on his mask. Take your badge number and call. Listen now, officer this is what officer didn't do. But we posting videos on Facebook and quarreling in the comments. The commissioner busy, he ain't have time to read comments all the time. All right, it's time to end. I know there are a lot of comments, Facebook, WhatsApp, that I haven't gotten to yet. Good morning, bestie. Have yourself a blessed day today. I know there are a lot of comments I haven't gotten to, but I'm out of time for today. But don't worry, as the weeks and days progress, I'm sure I would bounce up on the comments and the questions. I know some of you repost them according to what day it is and who the guests may be, so I'm sure I would get to them. It's time for me to head on out. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have yourselves an enjoyable and safe weekend. That's the end of the program, end of my time. Joseph is up next with Mid-Morning Buzz. Bye one and all. My apologies to all the WhatsApp comments I haven't gotten to yet, but next time, in the interest of time. Bye.